When we were in Korea last summer, that's when I fell in love with Tuna Gimbap, or Korean-style maki. It's classic tuna fish sandwich flavors mixed up together with traditional Korean rice rolls. The flavors are surprising, yet truly scrumptious. So come on, grab some canned tuna out of your pantry and I'll show you how to make this. We're gonna start off at the stove because I have to fry up a couple of ingredients that you would find in traditional kimbap, but because of the tuna, it's a lot lighter. What you're gonna need for this tuna kimbap is roasted seaweed for kimbap, olive oil, pickled radish, imitation crab, short grain sushi rice, canned tuna, sesame oil, mayonnaise, lemon juice, Dijon mustard, salt, pepper, carrot, Korean chili pepper powder, perilla leaves, and eggs. It feels kind of nice to have our windows open for the first time in a long while. I think this is like maybe the second warm day this week. I'm super excited. So I have like a large carrot that I peeled in julienne, just cut into thin strips. And I'm just gonna heat a pan with a little bit of sesame oil. And this is what you would traditionally find in regular kimbap, and I like it because of the crunch, sweetness, and the color. Just gonna sprinkle it with a little bit of salt, but don't go crazy. And what you're going for is just crisp, tender carrots. You do want that bite inside of the rice rolls. So I'm just gonna dump it into a plate, and now I'm just gonna make a little omelet. I have 5 eggs that I whisked up. I just put in some vegetable oil in the pan. Just gonna make an omelet. Just gonna sprinkle a little salt. I'll do a little pepper, why not? Just gonna let it cook, and then we're gonna flip the omelet so that it's cooked on both sides, and then we're gonna head over to the counter. I have 6 cups of cooked short grain rice, and you wanna use short grain so that it's a little bit sticky. You wanna season your rice before you finish up with the rest of your fillings because you wanna give the hot rice a chance to cool down, but you do wanna use freshly cooked rice. I have a tablespoon of sesame oil. I think that's the main difference between kimbap and Japanese maki because it has that sesame oil flavor throughout the whole thing. But I also have some olive oil. This is half a tablespoon. And lastly, I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of kosher salt. Now with your rice paddle, you wanna kind of break up the clumps and make sure that all of that seasoning and oil is evenly distributed. But you want the rice to be hot and freshly made so that all of that can get absorbed easily. These are perilla/sesame leaves, also called 깻잎 in Korean, and they're very herbaceous. You've probably seen me use it already in a couple of my recipes this season. I'm just gonna roll them up and chiffonade them or julienne them. And I have about 10 to 15 leaves, depending on your preference or how many rolls you intend to make. In traditional kimbap, the green part of it is usually sauteed spinach. But instead of doing that, I'm gonna keep it a little bit lighter and fresher with these shredded leaves. Come here, my little fluff ball. And I'm gonna cut up this little guy. And this is 단무지 or takkwang, it's called either. And it's pickled radish that is also frighteningly neon yellow, but it's so delicious. It's sweet and sour and super crunchy. And this is what you'll also find in traditional kimbap. Now at the Korean store, they do sell this sold into strips already in packaging. So you could just buy that if you find it. It's specifically made to put inside of kimbap, but I'm just gonna cut it into strips myself. And I like to use the log because I like to have extra on the side that I slice up to eat along with the kimbap. This might look like a whole bunch of egg because really you just need like 1 strip of everything, but I'm gonna cut it into several strips and then I'm gonna put maybe 2 or 3 strips in, we'll see. The first time I tried making these tuna kimbap, I did not put the eggs in. And then I found that, I kind of missed it. I really liked it. And that's what you find in the traditional kimbap. But if you prefer or you want to keep it easier, you can totally omit the egg. I also have some imitation crab sticks. That's a horrible name for it. But it's just white flesh fish that's been pulverized and shaped into crab sticks. And we did make an episode featuring these, so check it out. And it's Korean crabjeon or crab stick omelets. So in that episode, I had different sized ones. They were actually about almost half the length of this, but I got these longer ones on purpose. So I'm using about 5 to 6 strips of that. But if you don't have the longer ones, just double up on the shorter ones. It's fine. And of course, the star of the show is the tuna. So I have 2 cans, about 5 to 6 ounces each, of drained tuna. And this is well drained. Like, I usually don't drain it that well when I'm making tuna fish sandwiches, but it's very important to get rid of all the moisture in this recipe. To this, I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of mayo. If you're not the hugest mayo fan, you can cut down the amount, or you could also leave it out completely. But I love the creamy texture of the mayo. And then I have a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. This adds just a little bit of a zing. And then we're gonna use about a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. I think this adds a nice little bright acidity. I'm not sure they did this in Korea, but I love lemon on anything. I'm gonna season with just a tad bit of salt and pepper. And the last thing I'm gonna add is a spicy element with Korean chili pepper powder, or gochugaru, and this is finely ground. I usually have coarse on hand, but I didn't this time. And this is 2 teaspoons. If you don't like things that spicy, you can use less or even completely omit it. It will still taste good without the spice. Okay, now we're ready to rock and roll, literally. I have some laver or roasted seaweed for kimbap. It's specifically made for rolls or kimbap. And it's a little different from the kind that's like really crunchy and roasted and seasoned with salt. This is still roasted with sesame oil, and it's a little bit more malleable because it's not as brittle. You definitely need one of these bamboo mats. These days, they also make it out of silicone, which I was so tempted to buy when I was in Korea, but then I didn't because I was being cheap, and now I totally regret it. And with the kim, or the seaweed, you want it to be longer side facing you and shiny side facing down onto the mat. You'll be able to see there's one kind of shinier side. And this is why it's called kimbap, because kim is seaweed and pap is rice. So self-explanatory. I'm working with a small bowl of water so I can wet my fingers because the rice will be a little clumpy and hard to deal with. I'm gonna leave about 1 inch to 1.5 inches border, not covered with rice. But the rest of it, I'm gonna try my best to spread it all out evenly. Now this is the key. You don't really wanna put too much rice on all over the seaweed, because if you do, your rolls will be really fat and really carb heavy, and you just need a little bit to cover every little square inch. And we're gonna work always leaving about 1 inch, again, on the bottom, not touched. So try to aim for somewhere in the middle. And then I'm gonna do a little strip of the spicy tuna. And again, I know that you're gonna probably want to put so much filling in here, but then it'll be hard to roll, it'll bust out. Next, this crunchy pickled radish, and this definitely gives it that Korean flavor, and it works so well with the tuna. And then we have some crab stick. And I'm gonna do a couple strips of egg, and then a nice little strip of carrots. Now the moment of truth. You grab the bottom of the bamboo mat, and you kind of use your fingers to hold everything in place. Then you give it a squeeze, and then you pull the top layer and roll it, squeeze again. And then see that little strip of kim that wasn't covered? If it's not folding together, use a little bit of water and then dip your finger and run it along there too. Once you get it all rolled up on itself, then you want to pick it up and kind of fold the bamboo mat again towards you. And then just kind of give it a squeeze. And then that's it. And there you go. And then you have a perfectly sealed, nice little roll. Now the last step is I'm going to put it on a plate and then smother it with a little bit of sesame oil. That gives it a nice sheen on the top, which is also classic for kimbap, and it also adds extra flavor. Know about you, but I always have to wash down my kimbap with some miso soup. I don't know, it's something about it. I'm gonna go for the cook's treat, and that's the butt ends. That's where all the goodies pop out at the end, so don't discard them.
The flavor just punches you in the face.
I guess that's good, according to Joe.
And the leaves, the catnip, the leaves is very distinctive flavor. so I enjoy it. It's like classic kimbap with a twist.
Yeah, because of that perilla leaves and the tuna fish, it feels a little lighter and fresher. Appropriate for spring. Perfect picnic food, right?
Road trip.
Oh yeah, We did a lot of road trips in our days. Actually, when we did move cross country, I was always craving kimbap.
It's a perfect finger food, so.
Yeah, a meal and a bite. If you want to keep it even fresher and easier, for substitutions, instead of the carrot, you can just use cucumbers. Just stick that in there. I like to keep kind of ingredients that I can cook later on, because I'll leave a blog post down below on what to do with your leftover kimbap. And so there's a round 2, because usually with kimbap, you can't really eat it the next day, especially when you put it in the fridge. It gets like all hard and it just doesn't taste as good. So what I like to do is check it out in our blog post. We'll leave it down below. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching this episode. Don't feel bad if your kimbap falls apart on the first try. It's still good, just eat it like a burrito at the end of the day if you can't slice it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, remember to tell us by pushing like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Mashed up together with traditional style. 1, 2, 3. When we were visiting Korea over the summer, that's your phone. Silence, please. Quiet on the set.
The leaves.
Chew.